that today because he is due to be on the grid today, Leonardo DiCaprio, so probably more pressing things to ask him about than one of his more obscure movie appearances. But
I like that film.
No, I'm sure it was great and everything, but you know, it's not, well, it's not the Titanic.
Well, just because you haven't seen it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. So there's Jean-Eric Verne. He just put I think the car just jolted there, didn't it?
He put it in gear. I think you heard the system, the gear system when he pressed it there.
Yeah.
There's Charles Pic. New colours this week for them, obviously, as you've mentioned.
Yep, but same old overalls, so I think we might have some new overalls in the future.
You see the visor strip there, it's an anti-intrusion panel made of Xylon, I believe, and it's now an FIA mandate, and they use it in IndyCar and all kinds of different things to avoid what happened with Felipe Massa.
Yes, that's interesting. I hadn't spotted that. Good work. It's worth you coming along.
I did use one for a year, so I kind of figured it out.
So we've got 2 minutes to go then until qualifying starts. It'll be split into, look at that, this is a decent crowd.
And this is qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit like when F1 went to Indianapolis, you know, in a place that's built for so many people, because the Long Beach Grand Prix is massive. It's always going to look a bit empty here, but I think relatively we're going to have a pretty good crowd. There were people, even when we got here, you know, 7:30 in the morning, there were fans coming in. So it's hopefully it'll capture the imagination.
And these are the hospitality areas, the red and white buildings behind the cars there on pit lane.
So we have a minute to go until the session starts. It's 4 10-minute segments with 5 drivers in each, all going flat out, and then the man with the quickest time will be starting on pole position. So there's the first corner chicane, which is unique to Formula E, and it's already caught Daniel Abt out this morning.
It has, absolutely. It's a blind entry to that chicane, and the drivers are getting greedy on the curbs. The more curb you use, the more straight line you take, the quicker you can go through it. If you take just a fraction too much, though, we saw what happened to Daniel Abt. The front of the car goes in the air, you lose steering, you collect the wall there, and the wall always wins. You're going to see a replay of it here. Here it comes, and you see a bit oversteer, too much curb, heard it bottom out, bang. What's happened though is the more drivers that are doing that, they're shaving the curb down, so the drivers can do this now and get away with it because the curb itself has become lower just being worn down by the other cars. Big old accident though for him. You'll see it here from an even better view for us, worse view for him I would say. There you go. But no, yeah, you'll see how much curb these guys are able to take. But how much is too much? When you've taken too much, there's no second chances, as we've just seen there. So that will be key to a good qualifying lap. How brave you're going to be.
So qualifying is underway here in Long Beach ahead of the 6th round of the FIA Formula E Championship. As they head out the pits now, Alguersuari told to hang on. The Andretti boys are coming past. Now you can go. And the Spaniard makes his way out of the pit lane. So Scott Speed heading out, followed by Pic, followed by Alguersuari. I think Heidfeld and Verne were the first 2 men out in that order. So they'll cruise around for 1 lap, then probably turn it up to 11 and go for it. But some might only turn it up to sort of 8 to the 150 kilowatts and then go for it.
I think that'll be the strategy here. It's 10-minute session. Minute a lap,
such a
basically.
Short track,
yeah, you know, so what are you going to do? How are you going to what is your strategy going to be? I would say you've got to put a banker lap in, because if there's a red flag you could be in trouble if you haven't got a lap. We've seen many guys throughout the year have that problem, and
there's Heidfeld going out.
Yeah, there's Heidfeld now, but everybody's gone out together though. They're all close up to each other. Traffic could be an issue, especially when they start slowing down to cool everything off between laps. That's when it gets really tricky.
So here comes Jean-Eric Verne across the line and down towards turn 1. The Frenchman who took pole position in Miami last time out. He took pole position in Punta del Este as well in his first ever Formula E race. And he comes through that first chicane then down towards turn number 3, where they turn right onto Pine Avenue. Scrabbling sound of tyres. His first sector is an 18.0, so that's well off the pace. You'll see, I bet he's only doing up to about 150. Yeah,
there you
so
go.
It's the banker for Verne. Good first sector is a mid-16, and he did a 17.8.
Just watch the bumps as he brakes here for the end of the back straight. Really key. And obviously he had a crash here this morning. He might be a little circumspect. No, got it in there nicely. Not used
up to 200. Well, we've just lost the telemetry there, but there's Scott Speed across the line.
Bit of traffic ahead.
I think that's his teammate, isn't it? So hopefully that shouldn't be too bad. They've done lap times in the 1 minute, and the quickest lap time we've seen so far is a 57.2. So we've still got an awful lot of time to come. They've backed off now, maybe one more cool-down lap, and well, there you can see, it looks like Peak's on it.
Yeah, this is the problem when the guys are cooling down and they're sort of not over to one side or the other. You don't want to get off line too much because it puts a lot of dirt in the tyres, but sometimes as the attacking driver as Peak is here, you don't know which way the guy's going to go, and it can definitely mess up your lap.
So here comes Peak along the back stretch, Seaside Way, down towards the right-hander of turn number 5. He's 1.6 seconds up. Is he going to get that one stopped? He's really throwing it in right up to the wall. That was
close there. He definitely got some dirt on the tyres. Got it through 6 though.
Alguersuari's pushing as well. He has done personal bests in the first 2 sectors. So Jaime Alguersuari in the Virgin car is going to be one to watch. What can Peak do? Across the line, and it's a 58.4. Not bad for Peak, but next up comes Alguersuari out of the final corner. Here comes the Virgin car. What can he do across the line? 57.6, not bad.
Heidfeld done the best of all, 16.7 in segment 1.
Yeah, good first sector from Nick Heidfeld in the black Venturi car out there on the circuit. The Andretti squad will be watching on because neither of their team have done a quick lap yet. Here comes Heidfeld through the middle sector. 19.4, not bad. He's still, well, he's just 3 sort of hundredths of a second down on Jaime Alguersuari at the moment.
It's quick there into the turn 5 end of the back straight. Did a good job getting into that corner.
Just a little off the throttle halfway through that turn 6 and then back on.
That's normal. That's looking good. Here we go to the line. 57.7.
Second quickest then, but Jean-Eric Verne has just gone fastest of anyone in sector 1. The Frenchman turns it up to 200 kilowatts and charges down the back straight. He's 0.2 of a second up. Is he going to get it stopped?
Nicely done, even with an outside front lock-up, the worst type you can have there. When you're outside front locks, you're generally really in trouble.
Much tighter line through there than we saw from Heidfeld as he now comes into the final corner at turn 7. What can Jean-Eric Verne do? The fastest time we've seen so far today is a 57.2, and Verne's just beaten it. 57.221 for Jean-Eric Verne. That is pole position contention.
Nice lap.
Across the line now comes Alguersuari. No one else out there is on it. Scott Speed has had a very slow lap as well. Now Alguersuari's pushing through the first chicane. Whoa! Gets the back end up in the air.
Jack flinched there when he saw that one.
What's he got in the first sector then? 16.643 the time to beat. Only a 10th down, not too bad. He's turned up to 200 now as he comes under braking for the right-hander. And it's not his onboard sound that we're hearing at the moment, so that's I've just suddenly got a bit confused that he was backing off a bit early, but this isn't the onboard sound of Alguersuari that we're hearing. Through the second split he comes, 0.3 down, so I don't think we're going to see an improvement from Alguersuari unless he can really hook it up in this final sector.
This corner, if you get slightly offline, you're in a lot of trouble, so you've got to stay tight to those left curbs there.
Just stepped out on him a little bit. Neat through final corner at 7. So can Alguersuari improve on his 57? Yes, he can. A 57.449. Good run from Alguersuari. Scott Speed has done personal bests in sectors 1 and sectors 2.
But he is P5 right now, so he needs to make it happen, doesn't he?
His teammates at the top of the standings. Across the line comes Scott Speed, second quickest, just 0.18 of a second slower than his teammate Jean-Eric Verne. Charles Pic still out there. I think that was Speed and Verne have still got one more quick lap to go, haven't they? Here comes Peak. 0.4 of a second down at the moment.
Oh, bit of oversteer and entry there.
Working hard to keep it all together. The car does not look happy.
It doesn't. He was offline there the second part of 6, which threw him off for turn 7. So not a great last sector. He might have been able to keep the momentum up, but it certainly didn't look tidy.
0.6 of a second down then in the end. 5th place for Charles Pic. So I think we've got one more lap to come from Verne and Speed.
Yeah, everybody's just taking it easy right now through the segments, just cooling everything off. We'll see if we...
But I think Alguersuari is...
Roger Griffiths is back off.
No, Peak isn't pushing.
And they're talking about position of other cars.
Yeah.
Great to hear. You can hear the helicopter coming overhead as well. So here's Nick Heidfeld on his second flyer. What's he got in sector 1? Not bad, just a 10th of a second down. We go on board with the nose cam, plunging down towards turn number 3.
Love this camera, love it. right out to the wall. Using the full 200 kilowatts there.
What's he got in the middle sector, Nick Heidfeld? Again, a 10.5 down, so this, if he hooks up the final sector, could be good enough for provisionally second.
Nice. Didn't use a lot of road out of 5 there into 6. Personal best, segment 2.
So what can Nick Heidfeld do here, right up close to the wall on the exit of 7? Can this challenge the Andretti's across the line? No, it can't, at 57.508, so he lost over a 1/10 of a second in that final sector. And I think that's the end of Heidfeld's push. Here's Jean-Eric Verne. First sector is still pretty good.
Half a 10th up.
And he's now half a 10th up on his personal best time. So this could see him getting into a 57.1 here if Jean-Eric Verne can keep it together.
Neat through there. Very neat.
Oh,
lock in the rear. You're going to see that in the race a lot, I think, with the regen.
Out of the final corner for Jean-Eric Verne, provisionally quickest at the moment. His teammate Scott Speed has got quickest in the middle sector. Verne across the line, 57.106. But Speed is looking quick out there as well. Wait for him to come across the line now. Can Scott Speed go quicker? No, he can't.
Oh, half a 10.
Half a 10th of a second slower. But it's Andretti 1-2 then at the end of the first segment of qualifying. I think
3.5 tenths clear though.
Yeah. Everyone else has used their 2 quick laps now. Alguersuari's back in the pits. Heidfeld's cruising back around to the pits as well. But, well, those are quick times for Andretti. I don't know if there's many drivers out there that can beat that.
You're going to be going some to do that. You know, half a 10th difference between
look at that face. That is not an impressed face for Jaime Alguersuari.
He's 3 tenths off the next guy. You know, he's 3 tenths off P2. Ah, the boys look happy there. But look at him looking in the mirrors. He doesn't want to hold anybody up. He's had it. Has he hit the wall? Or is he just holding his hand? No, he's holding his hand up. Alguersuari's going to be going back, going, come on, guys. We've got to be better than this. So when Sam Bird goes out in Group 2, we might get a clear indication, but the Andretti boys are definitely smiling there. Yeah,
that is a very happy pit gantry. To have both of your drivers within half a 10th of a second as well means that sort of they've both sort of got the maximum out of the car, it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. With that little time, they've both done their job, haven't they?
So here are the standings at the end of qualifying group number 1. Jean-Eric Verne and Scott Speed, the 2 Andretti drivers, first and second. Alguersuari, Heidfeld and Peak completing the top 5. But it's Jean-Eric Verne who is the quickest man of anyone in that first free qualifying session. So they will now make their way back towards the paddock. GoPros out, cameras out. Other small video cameras are available.
I saw a guy with a GoPro stuck to his hat.
Yes, that was great.
He's walking around quite the thing. There seems to be a real fascination about the Formula E car because it is so different. Yeah. Everybody wants to know about it. It's a car that makes no noise. This sort of miniature Indy car with an electric engine makes no noise. Everybody wants to know about it, and they're hungry for information.
And how different is the access here compared to an IndyCar event? You know, because like we've opened up the paddock and all the fans. Does that normally happen in IndyCar?
That happens at an IndyCar event, absolutely. So that I think they've probably learned from that a little bit. And as they're not using that part of the paddock as pit lane this week, they can open up the access to the fans. So really give them a taste of Formula E and the teams.
Yeah, so there is Sam Bird. He's going to be heading out in Group 2, along with Nico Prost, Bruno Senna, Jarno Trulli and Loic Duval.
Sam's he'll be focusing there on what he's got to do, visualising the lap, just getting ready, just trying to stay calm, not overdrive it, be absolutely on the limit for that one lap.
There's a really decent amount of fans here. It's great to see. So let's hear now from Jaime Alguersuari, 3rd quickest at the moment after that first session, but I don't think he's going to be a very happy Spaniard. He's with Nicky.
Jaime Alguersuari, do you think you've done enough to stay in P3?
I don't think so, no. Let's see how the track evolves. We've done loads of changes for this race, and this morning we didn't do many laps because we had a wishbone broken when I went through a curb. So yeah, I think it's quite positive, the reading, because we changed the car massively from the last race to here, just to try something different and to see if the energy is a bit better and if it's better for us. So yeah, I'm quite positive, but for sure we are not doing the maximum yet. I think we are still learning a lot, and yeah, it's a learning curve for us, you know.
Thanks very much.
Happier than I thought.
Exactly what I was going to say.
But if you're making massive radical changes to your car since the last race just to try it, it sort of suggests not really on top of what's going on.
No, but if you're not, you've got to make those big changes. If I were in that team, I would have been suggesting the same thing. Okay, we're not winning. We're not quick enough. Come on, what are we going to do? And then you see those big changes being made, and you're looking for a direction. You're looking for something that clicks, something that works, and then you can use that as a base point and start making small changes from that. But until you find that one thing that works, you've got to keep searching. So, fair play to the Virgin team for doing that.
Nico Prost there has had 2 pole positions this season, qualified quickest in Beijing and in Putrajaya. Jean-Eric Vergne making his way back to the interview area, and so it seems only fitting that we'll have an interview with him. Once he's turned around and faced Nikki, I'm sure he'll speak to her.
Jean-Eric Vergne, you've had 2 pole positions so far. Are you going to make this a hat trick?
I don't know, that's the first group. Apparently the track evolution here is quite big, so I don't know, I'm just happy with this session, how it went. Still gonna be a good position, I guess, to start the race with, and yeah, we saw that pole position was not the best, so I think I'm gonna focus a bit more on the race today and have a good one now.
You showed a lot of speed in qualification. Where do you think that's come from?
I don't know, I had probably a little bit too much this morning, breaking down the cars. The guy are doing a good job now to fix it on time for the race. And hopefully I can make a good one to apologize for the crash this morning, but already, yeah, if we can keep this position, that would be a good one.
Good luck, thank you.
Only French-speaking drivers have qualified on pole so far this year. 2 for Nico Prost, 2 for Jean-Eric Vergne, and 1 for Sébastien Buemi. There's your fact of the day. Here's qualifying Group 2 coming up. Sam Bird, Loic Duval, Nico Prost, Jarno Trulli, Bruno Senna, and really, well, Bird and Prost are going to be the 2 to watch in this.
Jarno had 2 really quick segments. Remember
That's
that?
true,
Early,
yeah.
He didn't complete the lap because I think his teammate hit the wall, but yeah, I think he looks good too. I've got to give a shout out to Jean-Eric Vergne. First practice, he sticks the thing in the wall, regroups, and he's done a lap that's really in contention for pole position. I think that shows mental toughness, and not really surprising, but still good to see nonetheless.
So the next segment of qualifying gets underway now. Nico Prost, the first man out on the course. There he is in that blue and yellow Edam's machine. Then it's Sam Bird in the silver, purple and red Virgin. So they come through the right-hander at turn number 3, past the hotel, down towards Seaside Way. And whilst these guys are just warming up, we'll hear from Scott Speed, second quickest at the moment.
Scott Speed, how was the qualifying for you?
Much better than Miami. So we didn't hit traffic, which is good. Just need to put in a nice clean run, clean laps with no mistakes, and make sure that we give ourselves a chance. I think this race is going to be a lot harder on the cars, and I think it's more prone to make mistakes out there and crash. So we're just going to play, a conservative race, be smart, don't make any mistakes, and I think it's a good strategy.
Thanks very much.
Good to hear from Scott Speed, as now Nico Prost comes out of the final corner. There's the Edam's crew with Sébastien Buemi sat in the middle, and across the line comes Prost to start a lap. We'll wait and see whether it will be a flyer or not. He'll be pushing hard nevertheless, but whether he's turned it up to 200, we'll find out when he goes through the first sector split.
It's interesting watching Buemi there. He's trying to learn as much as he can before his Group 4 run.
Yeah, he's only up to 150 at the moment, Nico Prost.
Banker lap here, definitely.
As we expected, the same for, certainly for Bird, certainly for Loic Duval, probably for Trulli and Senna as well. We'll wait until they come through the first sector. So this is just a banker lap down the back straight, underneath the bridges that lead to the Long Beach Arena and Convention Centre.
You hear him upshift between the 2 corners, turn 5 and turn 6 there. Kind of unusual, that.
Yeah, that is interesting. Out of the final corner comes Prost, and this will just stick him in the sort of low 1 minutes, probably. Yeah, 1 minute .422. And then down towards the turn 1 chicane once again. There's Sam Bird across the line, and he was even slower that time, 1 minute 5. That was a pretty slow lap actually from Bird. Same with Duval. They're not taking it in sort of Bankertown.
No, segment 3 they had an issue, whether that was somebody slowing them down or one of them made a mistake and checked the rest of the field up, I don't know.
Now Bird's on it. Look at that, a 10.5 up on Jean-Eric Verne. That's a brilliant first sector from Sam Bird. Now he sweeps right onto Seaside Way, down at turn number 4, out onto the back straight. Let's see what his middle sector's got to do, but that was a stunning first sector from Sam Bird. Through the timing beam he comes now, and he is less of a 1/10 of a second up, 0.086.
That was a heck of a first sector. Let's see if he can carry that advantage through this last tight segment here. Get off the hairpin into shoreline.
Really impressive first sector from Bird. Bruno Senna's done an okay first sector, but let's see what Bird can do as he comes across the line. It's third quickest for the Englishman, but only, well, a quarter of a second off Verne.
Go back to talk 4, or go talk 1, yeah, P3.
So that was his engineer saying he's gone P3, turn it all back, but there's a yellow flag at the exit of turn 3.
Has somebody overextended and ended up in the wall there?
Well, we'll wait and see, hopefully. There's Bruno Senna coming across the line. He jumps up to 6th quickest. Still we've got the yellow flag at turn 3. So we'll hopefully wait and see. Someone chunking through the first chicane there. It was Jarno Trulli. He was slowing, but he's managed to get going again now. So hopefully that hasn't affected anyone's lap. But that first sector from Bird was ridiculous. And then he just sort of fell back through the rest of the lap.
If Jarno Trulli can actually get a full lap in today, he might be quite quick. There's Nico Prost.
Loic Duval's under investigation for some reason. Here's Nico Prost then.
Less than a 10th down.
Yeah, this is good stuff from Prost. This could put him up, well, it'll put him up in the top 3 probably. Whether he'll be able to split the Andretti's, we'll wait and see. Into the final corner comes the Frenchman. Oh, he's wide, and he really has to stick the lock on there. Where's this going to go for Nico Prost? Across the line he comes, and it is 4th quickest, all in that final sector.
Look at that. From P2 back, look how tight it is. Those Andretti cars have just done a great job and got the advantage.
There is Loic Duval slowing. No one on a flying lap so far. So Bird's done 1 flyer, Prost has done 1 flyer, so has Senna. Now here's Jarno Trulli, I think on his first flying lap, clouting the curves on the inside of turn number 4.
Yeah, not great splits. Really not great splits.
What's the middle sector looking like? Oh, very slow actually. 2.7 seconds down for Jarno Trulli, so maybe he's not turned up to the max at the moment.
Maybe he's going to start a lap. I'd love to see him just do a whole lap today.
Yeah.
But he's backed off now.
He was cycling the laps yesterday many times. That was an odd, if you're going to start a lap, surely you wouldn't hug that tight into that final corner. But anyway, there's Prost. Is Prost going slow?
Yeah, there's traffic ahead too. They're all kind of doing their slow down lap. The white flags were displayed.
I was expecting them to take a more sweepy line into that final corner.
Yeah, they didn't just get out in all the dirt and junk though. Basically, you don't want to do that. He's a happy boy.
Yeah, thumbs up from Jean-Eric Verne, having a little snack after qualifying.
Oh, Duval's getting traffic here.
Yeah. Oh, Bird's out the way. Goodness me, Duval's so close to going into the wall. Keeps it together though. Yeah. His splits aren't particularly strong.
I tell you what, he's fairly ragged.
Yeah, he came in very early into that final corner at turn 7. Across the line goes Loic Duval, and he remains 9th quickest, some 0.8 of a second off the pace.
Sam didn't help him much there. I don't know if the problem is part of that corner is blind. Let's see here if Sam's on a lap now.
Yeah, what Loic will do. Here's the replay.
Sam was. Yeah.
He'd have had to back well out of that.
Yeah. They didn't no help at all. That a bit of interference going on there.
Very close to the wall as well.
The flag marshal, in fairness to Sam, the flag marshal did not have the flag out. You see the blue flag out there now, but that's too late.
Yeah, absolutely. But Sam Bird has again gone quickest of anyone in the first sector. Nico Prost, though, has just gone quicker than that. What's Bird got in sector 2? Across the line he comes. And he's a 10th of a second down, and he's locking up. Prost, meanwhile, is going to come through sector 2 split in a moment. We'll keep an eye out on that as Bird comes around the left-hander of turn 6. Prost's up.
Oh, 10th up.
Prost's up by a 10th of a second. Bird comes around the final corner. He might be able to improve on his own lap time as he comes across the line now. Currently in third position, Sam Bird remains in third position, but this is the man to watch. Nico Prost, 2 pole positions so far this season, really flooring it on the exit of the final corner. Across the line comes Prost to go pole. Provisional pole position, 56.944. Incredible lap time.
Amazing. He's just, it continually impresses me.
Jarno Trulli has had a pretty decent first 2 sectors. Trulli could be in contention for top 5 here as he comes towards the final corner. We'll keep an eye on that.
Let's
one.
see if we can see Jarno here.
Trulli comes across the line. Where's this going to put him? Across the line, 6th. Not bad. Out-qualifies Alguersuari, out-qualifies Heidfeld, Peak and Duval.
Alguersuari was P3 before the session started. He was sitting there, and now look how he's dropping like a stone.
Down into P7.
Duval, right now P last, 57.9. A second off. I've been P last before. It's not fun. Quite between Heidfeld and Charles Peak, you know, there's 0.3 of a second. Quite a trouble.
Just trying to pick up Nico Prost team radio there, but that was quite. He's good, that boy.
Yeah, he's figured out these Formula E cars. I tell you, I'm so impressed with him. He just quietly goes about it, doesn't he? Just kind of like his dad did.
Yeah.
No show, just gets on with it.
So that means it won't be an Andretti pole position. Nico Prost takes provisional pole position of 56.944. Jarno Trulli doing a 57.4 in there. Still, we've got the top 8 covered by just half a second. And hopefully these fans are enjoying their Formula reaction out here.
Okay, so Group 3 coming up. What can De Grassi do? We've said he's been quickest in 2 sessions.
And Nelson Piquet Jr.
And Nelson was on it this morning too.
Those are the 2 guys. And Antonio Felix da Costa might have a sort of outside shot of getting there or thereabouts, but to me in the next session it's De Grassi and Piquet who are going to be the 2 men to watch. We've still got 30 seconds of this session remaining. Everyone's back in the pits, but that is a good strong crowd. I'm really sort of pleased and relieved as well, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
To see that people have come. So here are the standings after 2 qualifying segments. Nico Prost on provisional pole position, 56.944, a 10.5 clear of Jean-Eric Vernon's Scott Speed, the 2 Andretti drivers. Sam Bird 4th quickest, Bruno Senna 5th, Trulli, Alguersuari, Heidfeld, Peak and Duval completing our top 10 at the halfway stage of qualifying. And there you can see the grandstands. The ones around sort of turn 6 and 7 are pretty much fully packed. Prost's run into trouble now though. He can't get to the, or is he just waiting in the queue for the weighbridge?
At this point, I'm not sure he cares. They can push it from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is Nico Prost. And he's had 2 pole positions so far. Not had a pole since Putrajaya, which was way back in November, sorry. But he's been there or thereabouts, won the last race in Miami, and this will put him 10 points clear at the top of the championship if he grabs pole position today. So there's the pit lane on the right-hand side, waiting for group number 3 to go out. And in group number 3, we've got De Grassi, Sarrazin, Da Costa, Duran, and Piquet Jr. And you'd have to say, you've got Buemi and Abt maybe in group number 4, but I think by the end of group number 3, we may well have our pole sitter.
I'm not taking anything for granted for this, honestly. The level of team, level of driver, any of them can do it. And they just got to get a lap together. Car 10 is under investigation. Jarno Trulli.
Probably for completing a lap for the first time.
Yeah, exactly.
so there's Lucas De Grassi then, the man who led the championship since the opening round in Beijing. His best qualifying of the season, though, was still that Beijing race. He hasn't been on the front row since September.
If I'm him right now, I'm seeing Nico Prost just, won the last race. I'm thinking, okay, it's time to stop that. It's time to take the fight back to him. I think you see that in some of his frustration, and he's got to start winning again, I think.
Well, let's hear from the man he's got to depose at the top of the standings, Nico Prost on provisional pole position.
Nico Prost currently in pole position. You've been talking about being consistent. You know, this is how you're going to break away from the rest of the championship. Is today the day you're going to do it?
I don't know, you know, it's still 2 groups to go, but for sure, no, it was a good lap. It was a really good lap. So let's hope I can keep the pole, but let's wait. It's still very early.
And what about the track evolution? Is that going to be a big influence on the rest of qualifying?
I don't know, to be honest. You know, sometimes it was better to be in Group 1, sometimes in Group 4. It looks like here we're putting a bit of rubber down. But, I mean, the track was very good for me, so I don't know. If someone goes quicker, it's probably quicker.
Congratulations, thanks.
That is a very satisfied Nico. It's not that often that drivers go, yeah, that was just a good lap. There's always, oh, I could have lost a bit of time here. Let's see what he's saying.
Congrats, brother. Oh, is it a good start?
Yes, not bad. Let's wait now. Maybe the track is going quicker this time.
Interesting, he said they're putting rubber down.
I know. Mais la pole, elle est à quoi ça?
Oh, now he's going French.
Yeah. Is it like that?
No, he's...
I have 2. Buemi has 1.
Yeah, but Buemi's Swiss, mate. That's where he's falling. He's saying only French people can start on pole. I have 2. He's got 2.
Speak English. That's it.
Scott said, come on, speak English.
So yes, we've only had French speakers on pole position in the Formula E Championship. In its entire history of 5 races, we've only had French speakers on pole position. Will that change today? Well, Nico Prost is the man provisionally there, but we could get a Brazilian on pole, really. If anyone's going to stop Prost, it could be Piquet Jr. or Lucas di Grassi. That man there.
Looks like a Scottish flag on the back of his helmet.
That's true, actually.
Good lad.
Maybe he loves tunnocks as well.
Yeah, he's from the Scottish branch of the Di Grassi family.
Yeah. It's not a very Scottish sounding name, is it, Mr. Franchitti?
There's Franchitti, yeah. What's your point, Jack?
So we're getting ready in a couple of minutes. In about 5 seconds, I think, the pit lane will open for the 3rd qualifying group. To run through you again, we've got both the Amlin Aguri cars out there, Salvador Duran and Antonio Felix da Costa. Stefan Sarazan for Venturi, Nelson Piquet Jr. for Next EV by Team China Racing, and Lucas di Grassi for Abt. That's where the race will be starting in just about 3.5 hours time. It's crazy that the race is today as well. Every time you come to these events, you can see the cars that are going to be in the qualifying group here. The relentlessness just surprises you each time.
Well, you think about it, for us it's relentless. These guys have got autograph sessions, they've got to do debriefs with engineers. Oh, it's just non-stop for them. And after a day at the track, they're worn out.
All I've got to do is eat cookies in between sessions. So
you've been doing that as well, haven't you?
There was Nelson Piquet heading out onto the circuit. He's wearing his father's style helmet this weekend, celebrating 35 years since Nelson Piquet Sr. won his first Formula 1 Grand Prix around here at Long Beach back in 1980. Track was slightly different, but it was the same venue when he won in a Brabham. And there are the 2 Amlin Aguri cars making their way out onto the track, and there's Stefan Sarazan as well, heading out onto the circuit in the Venturi car. Di Grassi just warming up the tyres. It's interesting, like you said, that they're saying that rubber's going down. Actually, you can sort of see it, to be honest.
Wait till the drift cars show up here next week. That will be black. That tarmac, or asphalt, as you see here, will be black.
Down in towards the right-hander of turn number 5. Antonio Felix da Costa there, race winner in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in round 4 of the championship. Now, here comes Di Grassi across the line. But we're imagining he's just going to be running at 150 kilowatts of power as opposed to the 200 kilowatts that he has accessible to him for 2 laps in this qualifying session. And he's certainly pretty cruisy into turn 1.
Very careful, he's warming the tyres again.
But there is Nelson Piquet, the man who has qualified 2nd twice, but yet to have a pole position.
Let's see the splits. I would say Nelson, they're yeah, pretty cruisy there. A couple of seconds off.
Antonio Felix da Costa has had...
He's not so cruisy.
He's had a best grid position of 8, Antonio Felix da Costa, but he has won a race, so we'll see if he can better that today. through the right-hander he comes. What's his first sector like? 77. So
yeah.
I think he's pushing on 150, I'd say.
Duran is the same, very, very similar. Salvador Duran in the other Amlin car. Just see him exiting shot there.
Into the right-hander.
You see the wheels just on the edge of locking up the front tyres there. Getting some heat in those carbon brakes. Oh, held up. Nah, not bad. But Duran got out of the way.
Yeah, it was odd because it looked like they were on the sort of same strategy, but then Duran got well out of it.
Maybe a mistake by him.
Possibly.
Yep.
So, across the line come the drivers. They're pretty much going to 11th to 15th places now. What's de Grassi doing? It looks quicker as he turns into the right-hander, and he's 3/10 of a second down on Nico Prost in sector 1, so he's got it turned up to 200, but hasn't had a particularly neat first sector.
He's definitely got the wick turned up, but yeah, let's see what his second sector is any better. Coming up here in a second.
Across the line comes Lucas de Grassi, and he is still 4/10 of a second down. What's Piquet Jr. doing behind him? 3/10 of a second down, so neither of these two really challenging on this particular lap. Looping into the final corner comes Lucas de Grassi. No one out there really running strongly. Across the line comes de Grassi, goes 9th quickest.
That's not going to get it done, is it?
Piquet Jr. goes 10th quickest.
So this guy's going to have to regroup now, take a cool-off lap, and then think, all right, how are we going to gain? Quite a lot of time. You know, how are we going to gain? 4 or 5/10, 6/10.
De Grassi, yeah, 6/10 of a second off Nico Prost. Well, this has turned into a very interesting session because we've seen de Grassi do a 57.2 earlier on, so he's already 3/4 of a second slower than he has managed just a couple of hours ago. Here's Stefan Sarrazin. Across the first sector beam he comes.
Not bad. 16.5.
Yep, 16.5, so that is not bad at all. Less than 1/10 of a second down on Nico Prost. His teammate Nick Heidfeld has currently qualified 8th position. That was just Scott Speed there. He's got his family here this week. His son Rex did the qualifying draw for him. Sarrazin now 1/4 of a second down on Nico Prost.
He's getting traffic though. All these guys are on their sort of cool down lap. Looks like Lucas is starting his lap now. This is the lap for de Grassi, I would say, as he starts this lap. This is his. If he's going to get pole, it's going to be this lap. Okay,
across the line then comes Lucas de Grassi. We'll keep an eye on Da Costa as well because he's not had a bad first couple of sectors. De Grassi into turn 1. Whew, that was nice.
It was very neat.
Let's see what it looks like on the timing split. Sector 1 is pretty much just the chicane. Through he comes. 2/10 of a second down still.
Yeah, he's just not carrying enough speed through that chicane, is he?
Down the hill. Into the right-hander of 4. Out onto Seaside Way. The back straight. Middle sector coming up now. Da Costa's gone 4th quickest. Great lap from Antonio Felix Da Costa. De Grassi is 1/10.5 down, so he's gained a bit of time in that middle sector.
Not enough though, is it?
Not enough. But this could see him move up towards the top 3, to be fair. So de Grassi comes around the final corner at turn 7. Back end steps out a little bit. Where will this put the Brazilian? Across the line comes de Grassi, and he goes 2nd.
Wow.
Not quite close enough to stopping Nico Prost.
I did not expect that.
Salvador Duran is out there, not had a particularly strong run. Whoa, and it's not getting stronger.
No, it's getting exciting though.
Through the final corner comes Duran.
Lucas de Grassi's last segment must have been quite special.
Yeah.
To get him up there. He was going the wrong way. Salvador 2nd off.
Yeah, 15th for Salvador Duran. And so is that the end of that quali segment? I think it might be. Let's have a look at Duran again.
Massively offline. You know, look how grey it is opposed to where the cars are running normally. You don't want to be out there, trust me.
Yeah, there he goes.
Well held. Well held, that boy. Looks spectacular, not quick.
So I think that's the... Well, no, we've still got Nelson Piquet Jr. Nelson Piquet Jr. Oh, he's got traffic.
Sarrazin.
And Sarrazin's on a flyer as well. Piquet Jr. has got quickest of anyone in sector number 1. He's going to be praying that Sarrazin gets out of his way. But Sarrazin's on a hot lap as well.
This is frustration for him.
He's still up though, Piquet Jr., but he's got no chance because he's got Sarrazin right in front of him. That's so frustrating.
Over 1/10 up.
This is a stunning lap from Nelson Piquet Jr. Into the final corner he comes. even if this final sector's all right, he could still steal it. Piquet Jr. comes across the line.
Last corner.
It's second place for Piquet Jr. 0.03 of a second. That will be an astonishingly frustrated Brazilian.
That was a mighty lap in traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. He would have had pole position if Sarrazin hadn't been there. But that's Piquet's responsibility to find a gap for him and the team.
No, it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's Da Costa.
He's done a good first sector, Antonio Felix Da Costa. His middle sector isn't smashing. And he scrabbles for grip on the exit of turn number 7. What's this going to do? Currently 6th quickest, Antonio Felix Da Costa. Across the line, 5th quickest.
Nice.
Displaces Scott Speed. So Scott Speed drops down to 6th place, Da Costa up to 5th. And that will possibly be his best qualifying performance of the season so far, depending where everyone else filters in. So all of a sudden, Scott Speed, Jean-Eric Vergne could be a front row lockout. Now they're down in 4th and 6th spots.
Yeah. If I'm Nico Prost right now, I'm thinking,
You want me to come in reverse, put the rear here and go, or I don't understand?
Piquet Jr.'s team radio.
Now remember that after qualifying, you don't have to come here. You have to go right, okay, to the controlment inside the highway, okay?
So just a conversation about where he's got to go more than anything.
yeah, if I'm Prost right now, I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Now you go right, right.
He's giving him directions. But I'm thinking, looking at Piquet, he saw what we saw, and he's thinking, ooh,
Yeah,
that was mighty.
yeah, absolutely.
And Nelson has been traditionally a better race driver.
Qualifying of the season so far, but we've still got 5 drivers left to come. So Nico Prost has just held on to provisional pole position for the time being. The track, though, seems like it might be getting quicker. Nelson Piquet Jr. 2nd, quickest ahead of De Grassi. Vergne in 4th, Da Costa in 5th. Speed, Sarrazin, Bird, Senna and Trulli completing the top 10. And again, Sam Bird's a great example of mega first sector. He's going to get pole here. Next thing that happens, he's down in 8th position. So really frustrating. But hopefully the crowd have enjoyed the racing here.
It's a good crowd, really good crowd.
So now let's hear from Lucas Di Grassi. He's jumped up into 3rd position and he's now chatting to Nicky.
Lucas Di Grassi, pleased with that qualifying performance?
Yeah, it was very, very close, 300ths of a second to pole. At the same time, when you're so close, sometimes you're not pleased, but overall, if you think about the beginning of the day, to be in this position is great. The race is very long, everything can happen. Yeah, so I'm happy to be here.
And do you think you've done enough to hold on to that?
Well, definitely I worked quite a lot.
Something's going on behind. There seems to be a lot of smoke coming out of one of the cars. It could in fact be Lucas's car. Not entirely sure what's happening. He's going over now to have a look.
Yeah, it looks like it is. One of the apt cars. Can't quite make out which one it is, but that is not good to see at all.
They need to be very careful here.
And it must be De Grassi's because Daniel Abt hasn't been out yet. So that's Lucas Di Grassi's car.
That would explain
why he was a bit concerned.
Yeah. Okay, looks like whatever happened, they might have put it out.
Yeah.
There's some ice.
Maybe just overheating. Maybe some of the bodyworks got a little bit hot. We'll have to wait and see. But that is not a good sight to see for Lucas Di Grassi when he's just qualified 3rd quickest. Was telling us how happy he is with that 3rd position. All the other teams bringing over some dry ice to try and cool the car down. There's Daniel Abt. A bit worried if he was him now. I hope he doesn't see that on the telly.
It's a jumper battery. It's
it's not the car itself.
Look, it's melted.
Okay, so it looks like.
But what damage has that done to the car?
Yeah, that's the concern, isn't it?
That could melt a whole wiring loom, in which case you're not going to replace a wiring loom in time for the race. Ugh, that's not good.
Yeah, that is not good news at all for Lucas Di Grassi. So it doesn't look as though it's the car itself that has sort of caught alight. It's something else has got too hot.
We use these jumper batteries to keep the telemetry and everything up when it's sitting there. And yeah, oops.
Wow. So we've got one more qualifying session to go here in Long Beach, California. And the men taking part, Tony Liuzzi for Trulli, Karun Chanuk for Mahindra, Daniel Abt there for Abt, and Jerome D'Ambrosio for Dragon, and Sebastian Buemi for Edams Renault. And if the track is getting quicker, I think you're looking at Buemi for a real shot at pole.
Call me mad.
Okay.
I'm thinking Daniel Abt as well.
Well, Abt has been good in qualifying so far this season. I remember especially in Malaysia, he stuck a crabbing car third on the grid, I think. And so there could be an opportunity for Daniel Abt.
We've seen that a couple of times. People have hit the wall, the car's crabbing, you think, oh, he's pitting. But they just keep going.
Well, let's see if we can find out any more about what's happened down at Abt. Nikki Shields, our investigator, is down there.
Well, we've just had a chat with Mark Schneider here from the Abt team, and he has confirmed that it is just the 12-volt starter battery that's set alight. Apparently, it is quite easy to replace, and the car will be ready in time for the race this afternoon. If we can see if we can have a very quick word with Mark. Mark, can you just quickly tell us how did it happen?
No, we just have to confirm what happened exactly. Something got fired, but it was the external one, so we're now checking out and trying to get the car ready for the race.
And do you think there's any serious damage done to the car?
No, we don't think so. We fully trust in our guys, so they will fix it.
Thank you.
There's Roger Late standing behind him, the man in charge of the medical safety here at Formula E. He always wants to shout out, but now he's got a legitimate reason for one. So we're waiting then for the final session of qualifying to get underway in about a minute's time. Sebastian Buemi, one pole position so far this season.
This is where he needs to turn his season around. He's really had a tough one. Some of it bad luck, some of it mistakes from him. And it's time, very much like Degrassi has to stop the rot with Nico Prost. Sebastian Buemi just has to turn it around and start scoring points.
Buemi has led 50% more laps than anyone else. He's led 36 laps. Nico Prost, the championship leader, has led 24, but Buemi is 5th in the championship standings. 2 retirements, a 13th place in Miami.
His speed isn't in doubt, is it?
No. So we can now hear from Nelson Piquet Jr. This will be very, very interesting to hear what he's got to say after being so close to getting pole position.
So Nelson Piquet Jr., you could be following your father's footsteps on the way to winning here at Long Beach.
Well, that's the plan this weekend for sure. Well, every weekend, honestly, but for sure this weekend will mean a lot for us because, as you guys know, he won 35 years ago in this same week. So the same racetrack, and I'm wearing his color, his helmet for this race. So really proud of the team. You know, we're going to qualify second by very little that we didn't get the pole. So weekend is starting off very good, and I'm really excited.
Were you disappointed that you were held up out there by Sarrazin?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals, you know. I mean, sometimes you get lucky, you don't get traffic. Sometimes you do. No point in really getting pissed. I mean, it was a shame because I think I could have got the pole. You know, I lost minimum 1 to 2 tenths behind him, and I was like really close to Nico. I mean, our lap time was practically identical. So the important thing is that we're starting in the front. That helps the strategy. That helps just to have a good position for the race.
Thanks very much. Good luck.
Good attitude.
Very calm. Good lad. Yep.
So here comes Sebastian Buemi around the final corner, closely followed by Daniel Abt. If what we've seen so far continues to be true, then they won't be nailing it on this first lap. We go on board with Buemi.
150 kilowatt.
Yeah,
actually less.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's saving a bit for when it counts.
That's interesting. So jinking through the first chicane.
Using more and more curb, aren't they? Every session.
And they're almost not quite straight lining that first segment, but you know, really pushing it. Ooh, a little bit of a step out there. There's a bump right in the apex.
Yeah, and what it is that the camber of the road changes and it drops off as well. And you saw the result there.
Daniel Abt is the next man through. Yeah, everyone's cruising around on this first lap by the looks of things. Abt and Buemi have went out a lot earlier than anyone else. So they're a lot further up the road than anyone else.
They've just got to watch now that they don't catch the back of those guys when they're, you know, when it counts.
Yeah.
And their cool down laps here, they really want to go slow. Abt's already slowed down.
Sam Bird is under investigation, which is a curious one because he went out in group number 2, which was quite a while ago. So we'll wait and see what comes of that. Maybe, yeah, maybe using too much power at a certain point. And Buemi still just cruising around.
Yeah, that's his banker lap.
And now he'll head round to slow down. Daniel App's not slowing though. He's turned it up, I think.
Problem he's going to have is he's going to catch Buemi, who's cruising.
We'll see what he's got when he comes through the first sector split into the right-hander. He's 0.2 of a second down, not too bad. Good work from Buemi, spotted Apt coming. And now down into the right-hander of turn number 4. Oh, he really clouded the curves on the inside there.
Yeah, monstered the curve there. That's a very aggressive curve too.
And a very aggressive drive from Daniel Apt down towards turn 5. Hits the 100-meter board, gets on the brakes.
He's only a 10th off.
Yeah, that's a very good middle sector from Daniel Apt. This could see him up into the top 3, could be out-qualifying his teammate Lucas de Grassi.
On his first lap.
Absolutely, that would be very, very impressive.
Very tidy there, very tidy.
Out of the final corner comes Daniel Apt. What's the German driver got? Across the line. 10th.
What happened?
Goodness me. Well, there we go. Wasn't expecting that one. Maybe something must have happened in the final sector. I mean, we didn't really see anything going wrong.
No.
Who else have we got out there?
Karoon's coming out.
On a lap. Karoon's on a fast-ish lap. I think he's going full power. Across the line he comes and jumps up to 17th place.
No, not good.
Antonio Liuzzi out there as well, but he's on a slower lap. So yeah, I don't know what happened there with Daniel Apt because he had a great first and second sectors. Now here's D'Ambrosio pushing hard, back end stepping out as he crests the hill and then plunges down Pine Avenue. There are the slowing cars up in front, but next to come through, well, we're watching Buemi. He's done a 16.5 actually in the first sector. Where's he looking? He's always just less than half a 10th of a second off his teammate coming through the middle sector. 2 corners to go for Buemi. There's a yellow flag. Yellow flag being waved at the final corner.
Off to the left, it's okay.
Yeah, that's Liuzzi. So Liuzzi's parked it off to the left. And so Buemi,
there's no need for a yellow flag there.
He's going to come across the line and go 3.5 tenths. I think Liuzzi's parked it there in order not to cause a yellow, because he hasn't crashed into the runoff.
Well, why would you have one? If you could get there, there's no way the car can get there. So,
well, let's see what happened here to Antonio Liuzzi, unless he has crashed at the
But he's still off the track. He's nowhere near this. He's not
going
to run off.
So he comes around here. Oh, he claps the wall.
Yeah, but
then he's pulled off in a safe place.
Precisely. He's not in a runoff area. It's a completely safe place. Anyway.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sure it's more frustrating for those guys than it is for us.
Yeah. So there he is. He's parked. He's turned and he's parked off.
He's next to an ambulance. He's fine.
Yeah. So hopefully the yellow flags will be rescinded at that final turn, and
let's see here.
Can start pushing
if
again.
We can see at the end of the lap.
Red flag.
That's just, to be honest, I think that's pretty silly. There's no need for that.
Red flag out. At least the clock will stop, so the guys will have one more flying lap to go. But there's our top 3 at the moment: Prost, Piquet, and de Grassi.
I don't get that one. If you're Buemi, you're going to be pissed right now, to quote Nelson Piquet.
Yeah, exactly. You were quoting someone else, so you can get away with it.
Yeah.
That is frustrating.
Is that the rule?
To a certain extent.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that'll be frustrating for Buemi. He was right there or thereabouts. Daniel Apt wasn't on a quick lap, so he'll still have, I think basically everyone will still have 1 full power lap to go.
Yep. They're going to have to go out, get it warm, and go. 4 minutes to go. There's enough time to do it, and then some.
A shame to see Tony Liuzzi ending up like that, because he is now going to be last of everyone on what has been a very difficult day.
Look at the upright.
Oh yeah, he's shanked that one. But like we say, he's pulled off into a recovery area, so I don't really understand what the fuss is about. But that's why we sit and shout, and race directors direct the race.
Yeah, I'm not convinced with that one, to be honest.
If you're not here in the race, then I'll know where you are. I know you're up in race control, sorting it out.
Although the world's most thankless job as race director of any series, you're never right. And everybody, from us in commentary to everybody watching at home on TV, knows better.
Yeah. But you actually do know better. That's the difference, isn't it?
I think I do.
So, 5 minutes left on the clock. Buemi chatting to his engineer.
This guy looks strong. And the thing is as well, interesting, they're not talking on the radio. They don't want anybody to hear the conversation.
And they've turned on a very loud cooler. I mean, they'll be speaking in French. You're leaning.
They are. I'm trying to hear. Which I'm trying to hear when I've got headphones on.
Yeah.
I was trying to lip read maybe.
So, Nico Prost second, Nelson Piquet Jr. First even, Nelson Piquet Jr. second.
You see these guys, they look grumpy, and you're thinking, oh, they're really grumpy, they should be happy. But they're just focused. In their minds right now, they're just thinking about the race already. Their minds are working just 10 to the dozen, just thinking of all the permutations and what they've got to do for the race. And you know, it's all going on in there. This Daniel Ab too looked quite good there. Surprising that obviously got caught out with that red flag.
Yeah.
P12 right now.
Certainly. And so, hopefully, with the red flag shouldn't last for too long, because you'd think that they have sort of cranes and stuff at that final corner in the runoff area to sort out.
Well, if they pushed it 5 feet.
Yeah.
I'm going to complain about this all day, aren't I?
Yeah, I know. It's going to get very, very dull.
What a beautiful view. Look at that. There's the port of Long Beach in the background. Look, what did they... Okay. Well.
Okay, just let it go. Just let it go. Tonio Liuzzi, I mean, that is... Just walk back from the final corner, Tonio. That's laziness.
They probably won't let him.
Yeah, probably.
Here we go. Look, you'll see him get it wrong again.
So what happened? Just too quick?
Ran it in a little quick. Look at it. He just had to wind the lock, and it's just caught him. He just too much speed. He had two options there. If he kept the lock on, the back was coming round. You see, look, just upset by that bump. And he just had to unwind the lock, and he's just sliding. The whole time that car is just sliding, and he's got no control.
So here we go. So he comes around the final right-hander. That breaks, and so he thinks, I'll park it in the
safe runoff area where nobody can get to.
All good, all good. Yeah. He's making his way now back to the paddock with his broken Trulli machine. Hopefully that shouldn't cause. They'll have to check out the left rear suspension as well, I imagine.
And the tub. Big shock.
You reckon with that?
Big shock through the. If you look at the wishbones haven't folded, so the upright has taken it, and hopefully the tub hasn't, or the steering rack as well.
Yeah.
Replacing a rack with that, I think as a precaution the rack will be replaced there.
So there's a great view of the marina and of the beach.
20
session
seconds.
Will start the session will restart in 5 minutes time. Sorry, what am I talking about? 15 seconds time. At 12:55 local time. So the session will end almost exactly 3 hours before the race will start. There's our top three at the moment. Piquet, Prost and De Grassi. Out they go. We'll only have 4 cars out there. Sebastian Buemi, Daniel Abt.
Après push.
I think he might have said out and then push. But I might be wrong.
I think he said after something.
Yeah.
After. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We could sit here guessing about French all day, but you've got runoff areas to whinge about. So we.
Fair point.
So we Karun Chandok and Jerome D'Ambrosio will be the other 2 drivers out there on the circuit.
So what they're going to do now is get some heat back in the brakes, get the thing hot, so when it's time to go, you don't step on the brake pedal and they suddenly build temperature and lock up. So get them nice and warm.
So I wonder if they'll do another warm-up-y bankery lap.
You just read my mind. Exactly. What's he going to do? It looks like he's not pushing too hard yet. Let's see if we can see the graphic of the power there. We'll see. There's Jean-Paul Rio. Cool
so out of the final corner comes Buemi. No, he's not pushing, is he?
No, he's not going to start the lap like that. Yeah. Look, 100. He's just getting it nice and warm. But behind him, what's happening? Who's next car on track there? Is he going for it? Oh, no.
Well, we'll see. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't anyway, Daniel Abt. Maybe he's just running, because Buemi's only running at 100 kilowatts of power. Abt.
Yeah.
Maybe he's running at 150 or something like that. The interesting thing about Liuzzi's accident, just quickly harping back to that, is he'd only done an 18.5 in the first. He was on a slow banker lap when he crashed, which was quite interesting. Maybe just trying to get some heat into the tyres.
See what the limit. Karun properly. Karun looks like he's on it here. What's his first split?
Through he comes, an 18.1, so I don't think so.
No.
He's again on a slightly quicker warm-up lap.
Look at the kick back in the steering wheel over that curve there.
Yeah. And the other guy out there is Jerome D'Ambrosio, who's currently 8th quickest Jerome D'Ambrosio. It's a pretty solid effort. He has had a front row start this season after qualifying 3rd in Malaysia. Ended up starting 2nd after the penalty applied to Nico Prost. And actually he didn't, did he? Because he was meant to start 2nd, but then he got a penalty. So he didn't actually start 2nd. So out of the final corner comes Jerome D'Ambrosio. On board we go with Sebastian Buemi into that final corner.
All right, I bet it's turned up to 11 now. There we go.
Here we go. Full 200 for Sebastian Buemi. Across the line comes the Swiss. Down towards turn number 1.
Okay, braking for 1 now. How much curb is he going to use? Right over the curbs. Straight lined it there. That was great. Really good through there. Trying to cut down keep the minimum speed up as much as possible. Cut down the loss of momentum. Nice through there. Not a great first split, 16.5. Braking downhill into turn 4. How much curb is he going to use? How brave can you be here?
Daniel Abt has just gone quickest of anyone in the middle sector with a pretty decent sector 1. So Abt is about to jump towards the top of the timing screens. Here he comes now towards the final corner. The German, we said last time he might be able to out-qualify his teammate. Didn't get it hooked up in the final sector. What's he got this time around? Across the line comes Abt. It's provisional pole position. 56.937. Wonderful lap from Daniel Abt. What has Buemi got now? D'Ambrosio jumps up to 8th. On board we go with Sebastian Buemi. Across the line in the Edam's car, and he goes quickest. 56.853. And Sebastian Buemi will start on pole position for round 6 of the championship.
Merci les mecs.
We were just about to hear Buemi's radio there.
He said thanks.
Yeah, great. So, wonderful lap from Buemi and Abt. Chandok has come across the line to complete his last lap. D'Ambrosio ended up 9th quickest. But it certainly seems as though the track improved, and Buemi will start on pole position. So that means 3 drivers have all had 2 poles so far this season. Only French-speaking drivers have started on pole or have qualified in pole position. And look at that, a great handshake between the Abt and the Edams guys. That's cool.
Isn't that cool to see? I like that. And of course, the Abt guys are going to be happy. Daniel Abt, first session in the wall, second session P2. Great recovery from him as well.
The top 3 drivers in that qualifying session covered by 1/10 of a second. That's close in anyone's book.
Look at that.
The top 12 covered by half a second.
Ouais, nickel. J'entends bien.
Yep.
Car 7 and 9 under investigation.
So Nico Prost frustrated.
Buemi's under investigation.
Merci les mecs.
Yeah, so
Tip top. Bon début.
Tip top.
Happy man.
Yeah.
Quite rightly so. Great lap. Well done.
He is under investigation. You're right. You can see there at the bottom of the screen. Buemi and D'Ambrosio are under investigation. But we see that quite a lot, under investigation. We never get told what for, and then you never find out anything. So Tony Liuzzi could be interesting. I think he'll be fine, but the qualifying time of 110% is 102.5, and Liuzzi didn't make that, but he's made that at some point over the weekend, so I think that'll be fine. But there's Alain Prost
had a
and
nightmare.
Rio.
Yeah, the Trulli team have had a nightmare. It's just nice for something to go right for them.
Absolutely. So there's Carlos Funes, the man in charge of weighing the cars, just checking that the helmet is the appropriate height on that straight line thing. Anyway, here are the results of qualifying for round 6 of the championship. Sebastian Buemi taking pole position for Edams Renault. Alguersuari, Heidfeld, Peak, Duval, Chandok, Duran and Antonio Liuzzi completing the 20 drivers. A grandstand finish, and Sebastian Buemi, 5th place in the championship. He will now be looking to become the first man to go pole to win. We haven't had that so far this season. No pole position man has turned it into a victory.
He's the man to do it, isn't he? He's been walking the high wire all season long. He's left very little margins for error. He's done stuff like this, and he's made a load of mistakes too. So he's sort of the captain excitement, isn't he, of Formula E? He's an aggressive driver, and if I'm the other guys, I'm looking, going, oh God, he's going to have to beat him today because he's properly on it.
Yep. So high fives all around from Sebastian Buemi. Thumbs up from the fans who have hopefully enjoyed the action in that qualifying session. I certainly have. And they've got a race coming up as well in just 3 hours' time. So spot of lunch, bit of beach, then it's time for the racing to get underway. So make sure you join us. We'll be going on air at 3:30 local time, which is, what, 2.5 hours from now. But we can now hear from our second place man, Daniel Abt. Really great lap from him, almost pole position.
So you had a taste of the podium in Miami. Has it made you even more determined?
Of course, but honestly I didn't expect this to happen today, because we had a difficult start to the day. I crashed in free practice 1, and then I had almost no running at all, and I was way off the pace because I had no rhythm. So I was really nervous going into this qualifying because I knew it would be difficult. Being P2, I mean, I'm extremely happy, and everything can happen from there.
So what do you think changed from practice to qualifying?
I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, this time, first time that I was lucky with a qualifying group, I think it helps a bit to be in group 4, but that's not enough, you know, to change from P15, or 18, which I was in the last free practice, to B2. I don't know, we just put it together, the car worked great. I'm just extremely happy.
Thanks very much.
Best qualifying performance of the season so far for Daniel Abt. Previously, it was a 3rd place in Beijing. That was his best performance, and when this man, Sebastian Buemi, takes off his helmet and his balaclava, he is going to be pounced upon by Nicky Shields.
Sebastian Buemi, you must be feeling very happy right now.
Yeah, really good. Great for the team. We are 1st and 3rd, so it's good. We just need to make sure we finish the race and get as many points as possible, but it was a bit disturbing to do the qualifying with the red flag in the middle, so I'm quite happy after the last race, which was difficult.
Now everyone's been talking about the fact that no one on pole has actually finished in 1st place for the race. Are you going to change that?
I really hope so, yeah. I already started once in pole, so I really hope this time it will work.
Thanks very much.
So Sebastian Buemi, elated with that one. No doubt about it. High fives all around. Nico Prost, a bit frustrated with 3rd position. The reason Buemi's under investigation is for going too fast in that yellow flag zone, but I'd be very surprised if anything came of that, because yes, he improved because he had 200 kilowatts of power, but he was half a tenth down, and then at the end of the lap we lost 0.3 of a second in that final sector. So to me, that's backing off.
I'd say backed off.